Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you some ways to create more impact and dimension in your productions and mixes. I'm going to show you some free plugins, but more importantly, a lot of sound demos so that you can hear how these simple tools can help bring sounds forward and back in the soundstage, but also how they can bring back a lot of dynamics and punch to sounds that are a bit squashed or just sounding a little bit flat. So let's get right into it. It's all about an often overlooked technique called transient processing, which you'll hear in just a moment is incredibly effective. It doesn't matter which software you use, which DAW, and there's lots of free and premium transient processor plugins. My favorite free option is Bittersweet by Flux. You can get this for PC, Mac, the new Apple Silicon. It runs on everything as far as I'm aware. So if you don't have a transient processor, you can grab that for free and you'll be able to apply all the things I'm talking about in this video. I'd recommend wearing headphones or listening on monitor speakers if you have them. That'll make it much easier to hear what's going on. I'm going to be using the Transient Processor plugin in FL Studio because it's very visual. It easily shows you what's going on. Let's start with these drums. We'll take a listen with no processing. So what all of these plugins are going to try to do is listen to the incoming signal, and wherever it detects a transient, which is this short, sharp increase at the start of one of these drum hits, it's going to try and either add gain or take it away. Usually there's just one dial on most of these plugins. Let's take a listen if I add more punch to the start of those transients. You can see this red line shows us that more is being added. That's the processing curve. I know this is quite an exaggerated example. I'm hoping that it really cuts through on YouTube as well, but you can hear immediately how much more snap that snare has. Now, often these plugins have other controls so that you can, say, ignore the low end if it's already punchy enough, because you don't always want to be adding a ton more, say, transients to the low end. Sometimes you just want to focus it on the high end. Let's apply a similar processing to some guitar. So let's enhance those transients. So you can hear this is probably the quickest and easiest way to add a little bit more snap and punch, whether it's an individual sample or a whole loop. Let's take away those transients. This guitar sounds a little bit further away. It just doesn't sound as proximal, like it's punching into your ears as much. Let's turn that back up. But then the question is, why would you want to do this? On its own, this doesn't necessarily sound better or worse, it just sounds different. But when you start adding in extra processing, do you hear how each transient just clips that guitar amp just a little bit and it really hits into that distortion? If we do a quick before and after, the reason this technique is quite overlooked or maybe underrated is because most people will reach for a compressor first if they want to add a little bit of impact or punch to a sound, and this would usually be my first choice as well. If you've watched the channel before, you know that I'm a real geek when it comes to compression. I've got loads of videos explaining all the different types of compressors and such. I'll link those in the description. You're going to need to set your threshold right so you're not getting too much compression. You need to understand where to put your attack so that you let just enough of the transient through. Then you've got to time the release just perfectly so that you're not crushing the whole loop or the whole sample. So it's completely possible, but it just takes a little bit more effort. And there's times when you're going to need a compressor. Transient processing is not trying to replace compression. It's just an extra tool in your toolkit, I suppose. Let's listen to this shaker loop, for instance, and this time we'll use the free Bittersweet plugin. We can use this to increase the transients. And that tambourine is just really cutting through now, a bit too much. Or reduce. And you'll hear when I turn this on, Not only does it reduce the transients, but again, it seems to push things further away in the soundstage, especially if you're listening on monitors. It's good in headphones, but especially in monitors, you'll hear that this loop just feels a little bit further away, and that might actually make it easier to fit into a drum groove. I really like this bittersweet one because it takes care of the gain staging for you. As you increase the transients, it reduces the volume of the loop a little bit. The last example I want to show you is that it's not just for loops, you can use this on individual samples and of course for sound design. So for instance, if you have a snare or a clap, you can use it to just add more punch, and it might be exactly what you need to help that snare cut through the mix. And you can also reduce the transients, of course, and make it more soft. So you can hear that it's a very powerful processing tool, but I think it's really just overlooked or underrated simply because many of us want to be a bit more involved with the process. I certainly like tools that give me a lot of control, lots of dials to adjust and really dial things in, I suppose. But I would say I'm usually not a fan of plugins that just have, say, one button or one or two dials and they make everything sound better. I tend to think they're not very versatile, but in this case, transient processing is usually just doing one job, and it does it very well. Of course, it's not perfect if you're using it on acoustic instruments, especially, or organic sounds. If you push things to the extremes, things can start sounding a little bit weird. So as always, just let your ears guide you and do what's best for your song. So that's everything for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.